line. Now in other news, Gotham's series finale has set photos revealing an older Jim Gordon. According to another article from Screen Rant, Fox's Batman prequel show is finally coming to an end, with Detective James Gordon, played by Ben McKenzie, turning into quite the Silver Fox, as revealed in new set photos posted this week. Now, back in May, the announcement was made that Gotham would be renewed for a 5th and final season, 13 episodes to be exact. Although the small but devoted fan base was disappointed that the show will be coming to an end, they were thrilled that Gotham will have a chance to wrap everything up and show Bruce Wayne, played by David Mazos, finally becoming the Batman. The photos were posted by Ben McKenzie News on Twitter. Now, the most interesting photo is the one of McKenzie in costume as James Gordon, with silver hair to show his age. The photos were taken while Gotham was filming the series finale on Staten Island. Gotham Season 5, the 5th and final season, will premiere Thursday, January 3rd at 8 p.m. on Fox. And that's going to be the entertainment wrap-up for the IE. If you have a story you'd like me to cover, you can always find me on social, handle On Air Andrew. For the entertainment wrap-up, I'm Andrew Caravella.
It's time to say see you later, alligator, to embarrassing and troublesome issues with your skin, nails, and hair with all-natural Cayman alligator oil. Cayman oil is locally made, right in Louisiana, where people have been using alligator oil for centuries to treat all kinds of ailments. A drop a day of Cayman oil can help you say see you later, alligator, to athlete's foot, nail fungus, acne, eczema, rashes, dry skin, cuts, infections, MRSA, scars, burns, sunburns, and even ingrown hair and dandruff. If you or someone you know is tired of suffering with any of these skin, nail, and hair troubles, you need to visit mycayman.com to learn more about 100% natural, non-toxic, hypoallergenic Cayman oil and get a bottle today. Say see you later, alligator, with Cayman alligator oil at mycayman.com. That's mycayman.com. mycayman.com.
I'm so tired of the buffering on my smartphone.
I'm so over it. Next.
Right? I am so over it. Next.
A radio? Next.
No buffering, just your favorite local radio station?
Next Radio uses the FM tuner that is already built into your phone, so you can listen to your favorite stations on the go. Because Next Radio uses the FM tuner already built into your smartphone, it saves on data and battery usage. When compared to streaming audio, Next Radio uses less than a tenth of your data, and your battery will last 3 times longer. Next Radio, it's FM radio on your smartphone.
Introducing a radio inside your cell phone. Listen to all kinds of local radio stations, including KCAA 106.5 Yucaipa and 102.3 Riverside on Next Radio. Download the free Next Radio app today. 100% free, 100% fun, 0% buffering. Stop the buffer and listen to KCAA.
Now, here's a new concept: digital network advertising, where businesses display your ad inside their building. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, your company is going to thrive with digital network advertising. Choose your marketing sites or jump on the DNA system and advertise with all participants. Your business ad or logo is rotated multiple times an hour inside local businesses where people will discover your company. Digital network advertising. DNA, a novel way to be seen and remembered. Digital network advertising with networks in Redlands and Yucaipa. Call in the 909 area 222-9293 for introductory pricing. That's 909-222-9293 for digital network advertising. One last time, digital network advertising. 909-222-9293.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Take a walk on the wild side, where the birds and the bees survive. Right before me, my newfound hippie side. Once ignored these conspiracies online. Out the window, visions of the earth. sure you use your smart. Take a walk on the wild side. Will the birds and the bees survive? Would your children lie to see Mother Nature's side?
Welcome to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Hello, everyone. I'm Elaine McFadden. I'm your host of Smart Health Talk, a registered dietitian with a master's in public health and a propensity towards organic food. And the reason for that is because we've done the research. Oh, yeah. For 10 years now. We've had the top scientists on our show finding out about pesticides and the risks. And we were warning people like a decade ago about this risk. And now we have lawsuits granted for $289 million against Roundup, something that the government and the maker was like, oh, it's safe. And yet we had studies back in the 1980s that showed cancer. And those were ignored in favor of making money. And so we've been pretty much an experiment on a lot of different things. But I can tell you one thing with absolute certainty, and that is pesticides cause disease. They cause cancer. They cause autism. They are causing so many problems. And it only makes sense because we're poisoning ourselves at concentrations like never before in history. And that's because these pesticides have become so concentrated in the environment. So how do we combat this? Well, we buy pesticide-free foods. And when I first started back in the 1980s using organic products, I mean, there wasn't that much of a selection. Nowadays, you have an incredible selection. And I have right here in the studio a huge selection of some perfect things, not only for Thanksgiving and for the holidays, that are organic products that have been Smart Health Talk tested, and I tell you, we love these products, and the companies behind them. We do not support big corporate. Pretty much every corporation out there, except maybe Hain, any organic company that they own, like General Mills, bought Annie's, they have never, ever started an organic company themselves and built it up into a successful company. That is because it is not in their heart to do that. And that is why we do not support any products that they make, whether they're organic or not. We try to warn people about General Mills and their cereals all this time. And of course, you may have seen the reports that glyphosate, that active ingredient in Roundup, is super heavily concentrated in breakfast cereals that you have been feeding your child for years. That's what they've been eating. And why is that? Well, because all the grains, including wheat, rice, oats, barley, beans, are sprayed with Roundup right before harvest because it speeds ripening, allows a farmer to get 3 harvests instead of 2 out of 1 field per year. And they just spray it all with Roundup. And it dies and dries up, and then they harvest it. And so that wheat that you had a fresh coating of Roundup right before they harvested it. Then it's taken to a silo where they inject another organophosphate, one of the worst of the worst of the worst, into the silo or the truck or the warehouse along the road. And I got products here that none of that happens. It is not allowed. And I tell you that non-GMO label, that is a trick, okay? We do not support that. We did in the very beginning because we were just trying to get people to like start thinking about organic, and we were willing to do whatever. But then our first instincts were this is not good, because it's making people think that a non-GMO sticker means it's safe, and it doesn't. It still has pesticides. Maybe it doesn't have GMOs, but the pesticides are still in there, unless it has a USDA certified organic seal. There'll be a new organic regenerative seal coming up on products, and that is an even higher level of purity. That's right, people. Just think about this. You can have a diet, you can have all the food in your life to not have all these pesticides on it. Yes, there may be a little bit of residue from a neighboring farm, but nowhere near what you're getting from conventional foods. And let me tell you, they are now allowing GMO rice to come from China. We cannot grow GMO rice here, but we are going to allow a GMO rice that was developed in China to be imported into our country. That is what Secretary Perdue has allowed. He's also allowed chicken. We used to never allow chicken to be imported from China. So your chicken nuggets the chicken had to be grown in a dirty factory farm here in the United States and then shipped to a processing plant over in China, which who knows, right? To make your chicken nuggets, because it's cheaper there than the labor here to make a chicken nugget. So they shipped the frozen chickens over there, and they shipped the chicken nuggets from China back to the United States and sold them at McDonald's and Burger King and KFC and all those places. But now, Secretary Perdue, Secretary of Agriculture, said, hey, China, it's okay. You can go ahead and raise those chickens yourself. We don't have to ship over American-raised chickens to China. And we're just going to allow you to ship your Chinese chickens here in the form of chicken nuggets. So that chicken nugget that you're eating is from Chinese chicken. Good chance, because it's cheaper. Personally, I don't want to eat that. I don't want it in my body. I don't want it in my life whatsoever. Any freaking Chinese chicken. Okay? Who knows what their factory farms look like? I just can't even imagine. But you know what? My chicken that I eat comes from a local farmer from the Friendship Ranch. Can you believe that? The Friendship Ranch. And that's where I get my chickens. And I usually buy about 8 of them at a time. He lets me know when they're ready. And I go down to the farmer's market and I pick them up. Frozen, they go right back into my freezer. But my turkey, now I kind of ended up with our family ended up with one of the smaller turkeys last year from Friendship Ranch, Doug and his family over there. So this year, we got like first pick. Oh my gosh. This is a turkey that was never frozen, that was raised by Doug and his son over at Friendship Ranch. And they are certified to slaughter and dress the turkey themselves. So it never went to some slaughterhouse where maybe they process organic and non-organic products. This turkey is like over 30 pounds. Oh my God. It is gigantic. It was never frozen, fresh, humanely raised turkey that walked around outside, got sunshine, had freedom, pecked at the dirt, ate organic meal, whatever kind of grains that they feed them. And I tell you, I just feel so good about my Christmas meal. Excuse me, well, it's going to be my Christmas as well, but my Thanksgiving meal. And I just want to share with you some of the products that we're going to be using for that. That's one thing. And then I also have just went through a couple of weeks of the flu. We had a family member go and visit other family members with little kids and adults that probably never get well. And that's because, you know, people are doing the wrong things when they're treating the flu. For one thing, the flu is usually from a viral source. and that does not involve antibiotics. Tamiflu, maybe, but not antibiotics. And inevitably, there's someone in every family that thinks they know, like they're the medical doctor and they know everything, and they think that you are going to die unless you take antibiotics when you have the flu. That person is someone you should never, ever listen to, okay? They do not know what they're talking about. The flu is from a virus. You start taking antibiotics, you've now whacked your body with another huge blow on its immune system, and expect to stay sick a lot longer. I have some of my remedies that I use because, to me, I want to build my immune system up. I want to get a fever. I want to fight it with a fever. I want to fight it with foods that have high nutrition, that gives my body what it needs to fight and win and get 100% well, and not be a carrier that's only halfway well. And the thing is, if you never get completely well, you end up with the strongest bacteria or virus, whatever it is that you were suffering from, the strongest of all, the ones that lasted. And then they start multiplying, and then you get a relapse because you never allowed yourself to get 100% well. And I tell you, this flu kicks your butt. The person started off getting a strep throat, which I never got, and got well because they had a strong immune system. But then you start to think, oh, I'm well. But you don't realize, oh, I've been exposed to the flu too. And next thing you know, the whole house, is sick. I held off. I managed to take care of everyone and hold off for a while, but it got me too. And the coughing, never a sore throat, but definitely in my lungs. And when you've had pneumonia, you are super susceptible to getting pneumonia again, and you have to be extra careful. As far as the vaccine, the pneumonia vaccine, I really don't have an opinion on that. I haven't done the research. I'm always skeptical of vaccines. I know someone did have a side effect to a flu vaccine, which pretty much paralyzed their legs. They couldn't even stand up. I have heard of that side effect before. I have talked to one of our top scientists in the country from Consumer Reports, Dr. Michael Hansen, about the flu shot. I can pass on to you what he told me because I'm not an expert whatsoever, but he is. And he told me that these flu strains are mutating all the time. They're constantly mutating. So when they create a flu shot, it's actually a best guess on what types of viruses will be out there and that you will be exposed to. The problem is that they probably already mutated many different times. So by the time you're exposed to it, what the flu shot had may not help you. And there's a good chance that it won't. So anyway, that's kind of my take on getting the flu shot. But I do recommend that you really focus on getting well. And that's going to involve, getting the rest that you need, not going to work. You're going to end up just infecting a bunch of other people. And the thing is, some people, they are just living from paycheck to paycheck, and they need every single work day that they can get in. And that is really a problem for the flu. And I really feel for you if you're doing that. But you are going to have to do everything that you can to cover your mouth, wash your hands all the time, be careful about everything that you touch. And that goes for everybody. As soon as you touch a doorknob that's outside of your home, you never know what you are being exposed to. I used to be a touchy person. I used to touch my face a lot, and then until I touched milkweed and touched my face and went blind for a couple of days. And that really taught me a lesson about touching my face, because the milk in milkweed, if you get even the tiniest bit in your eyes, you can't see. And it was one of the most scary experiences of my life. So I have now, because I'm around milkweed and butterflies all the time with our Blue Monarch project, and I do have probably at least 150 butterflies, monarch butterflies, in all different stages in my garage right now because the climate is just so whacked out with this warm weather. It should be too cold for them to even be here, and they should have migrated to the ocean on the eucalyptus trees to hang out there for the winter for about 3 or 4 months and come back. But this warm weather has everything screwed up as far as like what they're supposed to do. So even though they shouldn't be here, they are. And so we're just going to make the best of it and try to increase the population, even though it's not the best circumstances. So we're taking care of those butterflies. And they're little cuties too. And we've already released like hundreds so far this year. And so if you're in the Loma Linda Redlands area and you've seen a monarch butterfly kind of flutter by, that could actually have been one of our butterflies. So every single female can lay like 500 to 750 eggs. But the problem is not enough milkweed and too much pesticides. So everyone, please, just avoid pesticides. Don't even do it. Don't even risk exposing your family, yourself. Just not even worth it. Let's just go back to the old-fashioned way of doing things. We don't have to spray a weed with Roundup or a dandelion with Roundup. The dandelion is not evil. It actually is helping supply food for a lot of bees and other beneficials. A new report came out that these pesticides have actually been causing a big hit on the bird populations. And people, they love birds and they put bird seed out, but they don't realize that seeds are not the main meal of a bird. Insects are. And when you're spraying these pesticides around your yard, you're killing the insects that the birds need to live off of. So it doesn't even make sense to be doing it. If you want to help the birds, then please don't use the pesticides. And it helps the bees and the butterflies. And today I look out in my backyard and there must have been about 7 or 8 butterflies just flying around in a group, just dancing around, having so much fun and looking so happy. Just the thought of spraying a pesticide in my yard to expose them and probably watch them drop dead, I just can't even imagine anything that would be worth doing that. Especially since I put a lot into every single one of those butterflies just to even make that happen. So I certainly don't want to turn around and kill them. Now, before I get to the products section of our show here, which is my favorite, and how to deal with the flu, some recommendations on that, I do want to talk about the big fire in Paradise, California. I graduated from Paradise High School. That was my alma mater. I moved there my freshman year. I was sent home the first day because I came from San Diego where we were wearing hot pants and micro minis. And the first day I got sent home for my dress being too short. It was a very conservative town. Girls were not allowed to wear jeans even for a couple years until after that I had been there. But before that, they were never allowed to wear jeans. And it was very much a retirement town where it was the only city in California where they issued special licenses to drive within a certain mile radius of their house because these old people needed to go down to the store and get supplies and that. So they gave them special licenses. And they would be out there driving on the wrong side of the road, and it'd be extremely dangerous. I was very upset when I heard that the town that I lived in, that my sister still lives in, and I was like frantically concerned about her, which I just found out today that her house did survive. She's not staying there anymore. She's up in Antioch with family. But I guess there was some similar situations that we saw on television with her family trying to get out of there, fire everywhere, extremely scared that they were going to die. And she also told me that PG&E is responsible for that fire. They said that there was, that we heard that someone had reported sparks from PG&E to someone that was a property owner and wanted to come on. You know, you have to ask when we have these kind of conditions, why that wasn't an automatic call to the fire department to come and check everything out for them. I hope that everything is going to change from now on. I just still can't believe the town I graduated from high school, where my sister lives, is gone. I can't believe this. 2 years ago, we had the Yurok tribe. We had Margot Robbins. We played the show last week. It's up on our YouTube. It's called Cultural Fire. If you type in Cultural Fire, you'll probably find their website. They do controlled burns during the safest time of the year, which used to be the fall and the spring. I don't know about the fall anymore since we have no rain. That would usually be the time, would be after the rain came. So it's almost like now it's getting so bad it's hard to even do these controlled burns. The Yurok were doing them until the year 1900 when 3 million acre fire in Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming stopped the government allowing them to do it, and now we have this buildup on the forest floor that is causing super hot fires. So I'm just happy that my sister did not lose her house. This was never called Pleasure, California. There was never any whorehouses in town, which kind of, you know, is what you think of when a town is called Pleasure. Paradise was actually called Paradise, was the original name of the town, and that was because it was a gambling and gold mining town. And then they just changed the name from Paradise to Paradise. And Magalia, which is the town right next to it, used to be called Dogtown. So that's just a little history of the area. It was one of the most wonderful cities to live in, except for there was nothing to do for young people except go to kegers at the lake. But living in a forest and such a beautiful place like Paradise, I mean, I just love being in the forest, and I love being there. And I love working the old-fashioned switchboard at the high school as my first job, the high school that's not there anymore. So that we have to start accepting the fact that we have a change. And one of our most top scientists from Harvard, when he was just asked, what's the state right now of global warming, our weather? And he was so depressed. He just said, it is so bad. It is so bad. It is so bad. I just can't even talk about it. And this is what our top scientists said. We better wake up, everybody. Buy an electric car to start, okay? Buy organic, because this is helping, all right? Every time you buy organic, this is pure food for your family. And it's organic. Okay, it costs just a little bit more. But the way I shop, when I go to the farmer's market, when I buy things on sale, when I eat less and lose 55 pounds and feel better than I have in like 10, 15 years, you know, you don't spend as much. Don't go to fast food places. Make your own food. It's very, very simple. All right? Okay. Now, let's get on to having the best organic Thanksgiving ever. Well, I got my organic turkey. I hope you're going to be seeking out an organic turkey this year. I tell you, you want it. The factory farm, not only are they inhumane, but the food that they're feeding that turkey is full of GMOs and pesticides. And not just that, but sometimes they'll even use like expired Hostess products, pastries, candies. They mix it all in the feed. And I just read another report on how milk is contaminated from the feed that they were given to the cows. So there's pesticide in the milk. We know this has got to be going on. But no, they don't want to test it, and they don't want to tell us. And they did test 2 years ago, the federal government did, but they still won't release the information that they found because it's so bad. That there's no other reason that they wouldn't give it. So Buying organic is just such a great thing. And these companies and the people behind the companies, I love them. I tell you, they are the best. Okay, let's start with Pacific Foods. And I've been watching some of the Christmas cookie challenges. I'm really getting into the Christmas spirit here. On the Food Network, and I was really thrilled to see Organic Valley, which is one of the companies I'm going to talk about today, was advertising on the Food Network, as well as Pacific Foods, a company I've talked about multiple times because they are the soup people. They are the broth people. And I tell you, what got me through this flu, one of the main things that got me through this flu was chicken broth. And because when you're sick, especially when the whole house is sick, there's like no one to take care of and everyone else. And everyone is just like, oh, I don't even want to get up. So who's gonna go, make something to, broth, some soup or some food, some tea. I lived off green tea, especially matcha green tea, with some organic raw honey from Trader Joe's. It's like $5.99, I think, a jar for the organic raw honey. But that's what you want, organic raw honey, unfiltered. That's what has the most like pollen and different things in that like stimulate your immune system and help protect you from allergies as well. And I tell you, this chicken broth, we did finally get over to the farmer's market and picked up kale and peppers and onions and things like that. So I must have went through about 15 or 20 of these Tetra packs of chicken broth from Trader Joe's. Really good price. It's like something like $1.99 for one of these. And I make a big old pot of soup, and I put like kale and onions and garlic. And speaking of garlic, here I got my bulb of garlic here. And my trick is don't buy the Chinese garlic. I've told you guys this before, but don't buy the Chinese garlic, please. Go to the farmer's market, get it directly from a farmer. It's completely different. This garlic I got from Three Sisters Farms. And what I do is I peel off the extra skin, but I leave the cloves covered in skin. So I kind of just break it up, drizzle some olive oil on top, and put some cayenne pepper there too, and stick it in my little toaster oven and just put it on like 350. And within I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, it starts to kind of bubble, and inside the garlic, it gets soft. And so all you have to do is when it cools down, you just take a clove of garlic and you just squeeze it, because it still has the skin on the outside, and you just squeeze that right into your mouth. And oh my gosh, it is one of the most, you would want to just make this for dinner. It's so good. And I will sit and eat a whole bulb. I mean a whole bulb. All the little cloves in a bulb in like 10 minutes. It's just so good. You just sit there and squeeze, and you're getting the olive oil, because I put olive oil in it. And the olive oil actually helps carry all the antioxidants. And remember, when you you want to kind of let garlic sit for a little bit, but if you cut it, but this way we're not really cutting it. So just drizzle it with some olive oil and bake it. And then whatever olive oil is left over, I pour that into my soup that's left over, the garlic, olive oil in the bottom of the pan after I baked it and eaten all the garlic. So I tell you, when you give your body a big dose of garlic like this, it really helps boost your immune system. Oh, I forgot to bring my shiitake mushrooms, but that's another secret weapon. Why are shiitake mushrooms so important to incorporate into your soup or your broth when you're sick? Well, because they have a polysaccharide in them, and this polysaccharide mimics an invading organism. It tricks your body into thinking it's being invaded. Of course, it is being invaded, but it thinks it's being doubly invaded. And so it just starts making lots of white blood cells and lots of fighter cells that make your immune system even stronger and make the army that's fighting for you even bigger. So fitting in, and Clark's Nutrition had some of the most beautiful, they were absolutely perfect shiitake mushrooms. They were just so delicious. I cut them up. I sauteed them with a bunch of garlic in a little bit of olive oil. Oh, let me grab I have it here. Oh. And I add, this is another key thing, and that's Organic Valley. It's cultured pasture butter. And pasture butter means that the cows ate lots of grass. And when they eat lots of grass, that means you're getting lots of omega-3s in the butter. And when you're sick, omega-3s are your friends, and they are going to help you. So I add olive oil, organic olive oil, and this organic high omega-3 butter. You can cook your onions, garlic, shiitake mushrooms, all in that, and then just pour some broth in there. And I get raw organic grass-fed milk delivered to my house in a glass jar, and so I did put some of that in. But when I put that milk in, because it's raw, I get the broth boiling, and then I turn it off. You don't want to boil and boil and boil. Just get it to a boil, turn it off, put the lid on, let it sit for a few minutes, and then I pour the milk in there and maybe heat it just a tiny bit, but I'm not going to boil that milk and ruin it and destroy all the good stuff in there. So anyway, that's how I make my soup. And this is, if you can get the Pacific Foods bone broth, that's the ultimate, okay? This is going to cost you a little bit more, but the bone broth has all kinds of immunofactors in there because it has the bone marrow as well. And inside that bone marrow, it's super rich with stem cells, you know? And so when you get that, your body is able to take that and make fighter cells. So bone broth, if you can get your hands on that when you're sick, that's the ultimate. If you want to save money, go for the Trader Joe organic chicken broth. Okay, I tell you, I just drag myself in there and get a pan and just throw that stuff in there. And kale, things like kale, sweet potatoes. I've got that in my soup too. Why? High in vitamin A. I had a cough. The inside lining of your lungs, the epithelial tissues in there, they need vitamin A. So this is what's being attacked, your lungs. So getting foods that are high in vitamin A, and that's greens like kale and sweet potatoes. And I hope you're making sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving. And I wish that you would include sweet potatoes all the time, because sweet potatoes, I had a woman, I'm not saying that it cures anything, okay? I just had this woman at the RV park when I was living in an RV park tell me that when she ate sweet potatoes, the anti-inflammation was so great inside her body that she was able to get up and walk and didn't need a wheelchair. But when she didn't include the sweet potatoes, then she had to use the wheelchair. And I'm just like, what? So I'm not saying that it's going to do that for you, okay? But we do know that it has a really strong anti-inflammatory property, and inflammation is the foundation of all disease. You want foods that help relieve you of inflammation. Okay, so anti-inflammatories, those are the vitamin A foods. Okay, another thing for the flu is BioK. And if we're doing a video here, you can tune into KCAA Radio and watch us right here in the studio as well. And this video will be going up on YouTube, and our podcast going up on iHeartRadio right after the show. BioK. This one right here is full of something like 50 billion cultures. Now, the thing is, you see advertisements for Align and these companies that were selling one a day and making buku money because it's just a piece of crap pill. with like a bunch of chemicals in there, nothing worthwhile. That they were selling people, and now, everyone's buying probiotics, so they had to get on the bandwagon. Well, guess what? That Align probiotic product, there's actually a lawsuit against them because it was bogus, and it didn't have all the bacteria that they said in it. That's the problem. These people that are now getting into the probiotic business like they know what they're doing, I'll tell you who knows what they're doing. Lifeway. Organic products. They have organic and non-organic. That woman, her family used to be like the probiotic expert to the Tsar of Russia. They came here back in the 40s and brought all that they knew and started a probiotic product. And now they have incredible kefirs. And now they have a new pill that doesn't have to be refrigerated. The BioK has to be refrigerated. But I do trust them, and I trust BioK. There's not that many out there that I really trust. And this is like a yogurt shot, and this gives you 50 billion. And you want this. This helps build your army. That's what you guys want to be doing, building that army. Okay, another thing that I think is really great is this. It's called an essential oil diffuser, and it's by Spa Vapor Pro. Spa Vapor Pro, and this thing is great. It's cold. It doesn't heat up, and it puts cold air out. And so it looks like this. You just put a little bit of water in here, okay? And whoops, I got caught in there. Oops. Put this thing on here, right? But anyway, you just put water in here, and then I have this other product right here. It is, it's called Breathe Easy, and it's by Plant Life, and I love that company, Plant Life. Oh, their products just smell. They're essential oils, and they just smell so great. And this one right here has eucalyptus in it. And as soon as you just like put it up to your nose, so even if you just want to, you could put like a dot of this just right at the tip of your nose. And that really helps when you're congested and you need to breathe, or even like right before you go jogging. It's a good thing to do. So this oil, I put drops of that in this diffuser, and it turns on, and it just has a vapor that comes out. It's a cold vapor. And this will fill actually your whole house when you put this oil in there, and it can help everyone. This little tiny vaporizer. So Spa Vapor, everybody, check that one out. That was a really big. And then, of course, we've had Nick here, our engineer, try this fire cider before. Well, I finally put a bunch of honey in it. Tastes a lot better. But I'll tell you, this is what I do. I just pour some of this fire cider in here. And I tell you, when I put the honey in this, it got all frothy. And that's because it's alive. This is a live food. It's fermented. It has good guys in there that helps build that colonies inside your gut. You know, you're supposed to have like pounds of bacteria. This is how I do it, everybody. I tell you, this is the ultimate shot right here. I take my fire cider. Wait a minute, I put like a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much. I may be like, okay, this is like apple cider vinegar. It's got horseradish. It's got roots and bark and all kinds of stuff in there. But this is like fermented, and it makes you feel warm and cozy inside when you do this. And then I got my, don't buy Newtons. Unfortunately, someone else shopped and got this. I prefer to buy Smart Juice or Lakewood, but just tart cherry juice. For achy joints, this has boron in it. Cherries have that boron, which hardly any fruit or vegetable has. Really important for your joints. All top athletes are using tart cherry juice. So I have my perfect little cup here that I got from the kombucha conference. And I just put like one shot of the fire cider in there. And then I fill it the rest of the way with that tart cherry juice, which is also full of antioxidants, which help fight off the flu as well, and just get this shot down. So I haven't done mine today, so I'm going to go for it. Woo! I'll tell you. I tell you, when you got the honey in there, and then you mix it with the tart cherry juice, it goes down smooth.
Are you awake now?
Woo, yeah. I'm feeling good. I tell you, man, that will build you up, that fire cider, and get the big, giant jug of it, okay? It costs like $50, $60, but it will last you so long, and you'll save so much money than if you buy the little jars, okay? So we're running out of time here, and I better hurry up. Okay, let's go through some of these other products that I have that are great for Thanksgiving. All right, so I am going to go for the Jell-O. I'm sorry, I was raised on Jell-O. I'm going to try this Geffen Jell-O, everyone. I'm going to give you a report on it. I got a plain one and a cherry one. The plain one, I'm going to make a lime one. I'm going to get some real limes and juice it and make a syrup out of it and add it to the gelatin, and then put some celery and pineapple. And I have my Native Forest pineapple chunks here. This is the best pineapple ever. Put some crushed pineapple from the canned pineapple in some milk. If you have heartburn, drink that before or after your meal, and I tell you, it will greatly help. Look what else I got here. I got some Fry organic wine. These people were like the #1 organic certified vineyard in the country. They have been around for over 40 years. They have won all kinds of medals on their wine. This bottle will cost you like $15. They have a Chardonnay. They have all different kinds. If you go to their website, or the #1 place to go for your organic wine is the Organic Wine Exchange. They have great gift packages that you can give where people can get shipments every month for Christmas. And we have a wonderful interview with the owner on our YouTube channel, and some other organic spirits as well. But I tell you, their Chardonnay, I have had cake bread. I have had $100 bottles of wine that were pretty incredible. And Fry is better. It is better for $15 a bottle. Oh my gosh. It is like the most incredible value. You will not regret it. And atrazine is used on grapes. It feminizes our men. Okay, you don't want that to happen, and also causes birth defects. Okay, now as far as gravy goes, of course, I always save the drippings. I use the bag, and there's actually a new one of those bags to cook your turkey in that doesn't have any of the BPA in it, which you can find in other plastic bags. So please look for that bag, okay? Pacific Foods, they make great turkey gravy mixes in the Tetra Pak. And then Simply Organic is the powdered kind that I love. You can never, they have all different kinds of gravy mixes. It's a perfect thing to just keep around the house. If you want to make a pie or cheesecake and you're not good at making the graham cracker crust, here's Arrowhead Mills has an organic pre-made graham cracker crust. Arrowhead Mills also makes an incredible stuffing mix that's all organic. Savory stuffing mix, all organic ingredients. Then we have Bob's Red Mill. That's my #1 go-to for flour. Oh, by the way, go to my website, smarthealthtalk.com. I posted a peanut brittle chip cookie recipe along with a peanut brittle recipe that I'm telling you, these cookies are like out of this world. Think about using fresh fruit as much as you can. And here I have organic candy canes. And this is by True Sweet. Wait, it's... True Joy. That's right, True Joy. Organic candy canes for Christmas. When you do your snacks, think about Mary's Gone crackers. It's a whole seed cracker. That you can also find the rich crackers in organic. Farmer's Market organic pumpkin pie mix. At Trader Joe's, they have organic evaporated milk. Unfortunately, Clark's doesn't have it. And then there's also an organic sweetened condensed milk that you can get. If you don't like to make homemade bread, Immaculate Bakery has a wonderful, like the roll here in the dairy case of just hit the thing, and the crescent rolls, and you roll them up and put them in the oven. Trader Joe's had a great deal on organic cranberries. Organophosphates are used on cranberries. Please buy those organic. And I have Trader Joe's had a light corn syrup that I use for the peanut brittle. That was for a really good deal too. So go check out Trader Joe's. Had some really great products there. So is there anything else that I forgot? Okay, panko flakes. I make an onion bloom where I just cut it, brush it with egg, put some spices on it, sprinkle this panko flakes, which are breadcrumbs that are cut with a laser so that they don't absorb moisture and they stay. Edward & Sons is the company that makes the organic panko flakes, but it stays crispy because they're cut a special way. Be sure to get all your corn organic. They now have GMO sweet corn. They may be slipping in your corn can you normally are buying Del Monte or whatever. Okay. Hey, what do you think? Are you going to make this an organic Thanksgiving? I hope so. And please, share this video and tell other people about buying organic and the taste. Trust me, if you want to impress, buy organic because the flavor will come through. And I just really want to thank you guys for tuning in to Smart Health Talk. And we will be back next week, 4 o'clock, right here on Tuesday at KCAA Radio. Thank you so much. I'm Elaine McFadden, and saying happy Thanksgiving.
Right before me, my newfound hippie side. Once ignored these conspiracies online. Out the window, visions of the earth. Sign me up now, make sure you use your smart. Take a walk on the wild side.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. So, you want to be insured?